And that's why you should pay for YouTube Premium. What's going on, everybody? This is the Cover Band Confidential Podcast, the podcast for cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I am Dan Ray.
Man, it's been a hell of a week.
Yes.
There's been things that have happened and stuff that's about to happen for you and stuff we got to get into. So let's do that.
And like family stuff. I didn't mention this in the chat before we hit go, but yeah, my child is Peter Pan in the upcoming production of Peter Pan. And she's very excited about that. And her little boyfriend, her cute little boyfriend, is Captain Hook. And she's got like a head and a half on him. It's hilarious to think about them sword fighting, or his sword and her dagger, whatever that'll be. Yesterday, tested positive for influenza B.
Ooh.
Show goes up on Friday. We're recording this on Tuesday night. So she's been in bed all day. We scrambled to get the Tamiflu. I've had some symptoms I kind of was attributing to allergies, but 3 pills in of the 5-day Tamiflu regime, and I'm actually feeling better. So maybe it was the flu all along. I don't know.
Interesting.
So we got to get her better so she can get back on stage. That's all good. And then this morning, I'm gonna bring the vibe down here, but my wife's boss abruptly died.
Okay.
Like she was fine. And then she was not feeling good, and she went to the hospital and died there.
Wow.
So today's been weird.
Heavy.
Today's been weird. I've had a kid with a flu and a wife dealing with that. She's in an HR department that used to be 2 people and is now 1, and she is the junior one of those 2. And so there's like a lot to figure out about how to keep this company going in its HR world. And the CEO essentially, it's a small enough company. The CEO was able to call everyone personally and give them this news.
Man.
And then basically shut the company down for the week. And just say, we're taking a week of bereavement leave. That's what's happening, which is good. Nick needs that. And it's been a weird day. It's been a weird day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Maybe pushing from Monday was not the move.
Listen, we normally record on a Sunday. It's currently Tuesday. Every night since Sunday, I've been like, tomorrow we're getting it done. It's all fine. It's all fine. I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was about to say like Amber is in the UK right now, but like that's it. That's the end of that story. She flew out Monday morning and is in New York doing work things. So
not New York, old
York.
Old York.
The OG York. And she's with somebody who's a coworker of hers who has never been out of the country and is now in like one of the oldest cities in Europe.
Okay. Cool.
So she's losing her mind, of course, just loving it.
Yeah.
But
every building here is older than my country.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one's older than democracy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. But we've just been doing a lot of traveling, and so there's a lack of structure in the house, and things are a little chaotic. And I know that she was feeling that. She called me a little weepy about wanting to be home. I was like, you literally just got there. All right. Let's shift back into whatever gear we were in before we were.
Yeah, here we go.
We went off that.
Before I brought like death into it.
Yes. Dogwood Festival happened. The headline thing that we've been waiting on. And it was supposed to be Nathan, our drummer's kind of final show with us. I wanted it to feel like there was some weight behind it, but I think with the situation around like the show itself, which was a festival gig where, there was a turnover and all of that stuff, the process of just setting up and doing, like, you just kind of get, you just get stuck in the motion of it all. And so there wasn't really like any emotional focal point or anything with one exception. And that exception is at his behest, we played Satisfied by Richard Marx.
Come on.
From the first time ever. We had never practiced it. We had talked about playing it for literally at least 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And just spun it up. I mean, I didn't have it didn't take much for me. I had already
sure.
It was embedded in my brain.
Yeah. How'd it go over with the crowd?
If I was looking at the crowd, I probably could have told you. I was very locked in on trying to make sure I didn't screw it up. From what I could tell, it went over fine. People didn't leave. There was definitely there was some head scratching. I didn't see a lot of people like singing along. Will we ever bring it back up? Maybe. It was just more of the importance of the relationship honoring, that journey type deal. So we did it, and will we ever do it again? Remains to be seen. It was fun, and it felt good to play.
Yeah.
But some other stuff. So like I said before, this was a festival gig where other bands were playing before us, and we were headlining, which involves turnovers, which is just a thing that I don't do very often anymore.
Right.
And I like it that way. Thank you very much. I like when we bring all of our toys and it's our show.
And you got like 2 hours to lay all your stuff out and get it all working and really feel good about it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was 30 minute turnover, just like, any other festival type deal.
That's how they do.
And to say that I was stressed about that would be an understatement. But I delegated this to Christian, who is our production coordinator. I was fully prepared to buy a new 32 channel split for the wing and just get all that stuff. He's like, I don't think we need it. And I was like, I don't believe you, but I'm going to go with what you are saying.
Yes.
And he absolutely crushed it. The turnover was flawless. We had tracks running and guitars patched in before the band before us started.
Cool.
So we were able to dial in all of our levels and stuff without bothering anybody. And we had time to play a song just in our ears for sound check during that 30-minute changeover.
Beautiful.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it is all because of the work that he did to make sure everything was advanced. He did a bunch of work on the rack itself, added some stuff and kind of streamlined the process so it was very easy to patch everybody in and get everybody up and running. It was absolutely incredible. And we tout the benefits of having a dedicated production person. He totally just, it was amazing. And I feel very fortunate that it went well.
I feel very jealous.
I was telling Dan that my monitor mix was actually a little too good. I could hear myself so well that I was actually a little self-conscious about how I was performing. So the other part of that was that in an attempt to kind of be more connected to the audience and not be locked away in a device, I did not have my iPad up where I could adjust my mix. I probably, in hindsight, that might have been a part of the issue. What I opted to do, though, instead was to put my iPad on the ground with AbleSet running so I could see the songs that were coming up. If I needed lyrics, I could reference them without, having to break, from where I was. I liked it. I liked that it was there, but it wasn't in my face.
Yeah. And
so maybe that's the way we do things for a little bit. I've tried it all different ways. I like this way, so I may do that. Let's see. Vibrant made its gig debut, and it was great. It plays phenomenal. The bright color makes it really easy to see what you're doing. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure I am a boy who can play a floating bridge guitar.
Yeah, no, I feel you about that. I have experimented with them and very quickly decided I was not for it.
I did like that I had the option to use the tremolo and do things like dive bombs during Pour Some Sugar on Me. That was cool. But I also definitely did some tremolo work that I didn't mean to as I was moving my body around and just trying to finagle things. So at minimum, I'm probably going to block it so that it's just a downward trem, but I'm looking into some other alternatives. There's a company called Futone, and if anybody who has a guitar with a Floyd Rose knows who Futone is, their main deal is they sell aftermarket upgrades for Floyd Rose bridges and other bridges also, but primarily that's what they're known for. And back in the day when the original Vibrants came out, they did a souped up model you could buy through them. And I was looking at the stuff that they added to it and then looked at what the headless version had. And it's not identical because Floyd Rose have very specific pieces and parts that they need, but there was a fair amount of overlap. And so I actually sent them an email today. I was like, of the list of things that you put onto that one, which of those could I bring over? Just as a way to kind of like, one, help with the tremolo thing. But there's also some other stuff that I just, not being a Strat or, floating bridge guy, just hearing the signal through the springs, that's a thing that I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
And Futone makes silent springs. They have polymers.
It says everything about Floyd Rose and floating bridges. There's a whole big post-purchase market to fix all the problems with it.
Right.
I'm not interested. I'm formally not interested because it's just so hard. It's just so hard.
That being said, I think with the money I saved with the discount, I could pour that money into those aftermarket things and have everything I need.
Okay. I mean, great. I'm for you having everything you need. I'm sorry that it comes with like, I bought this thing that has this great thing that is massively deficient, and now I have to spend more to bring it back to a playable spec.
Yeah, see, but I don't think that's it. The guitar is by no means deficient. I, as a player, am deficient in using this kind of layout. So the fact that I play, like my right hand was adjusting the pitch when I was palm muting. There were things that I just am not used to doing that this guitar does. So I can equip I can lock the bridge. That's not that big of a deal. Right. I can get springs.
All right. Show me on the doll where the bridge touched you. I can't. No. Well, no, you are not the victim here. No, you're not the victim here.
I'm still going to do it.
All right. Well,
I've made this guitar my entire personality. I can't stop now.
All right. Well, I tried.
Yeah. And then there was the business about Amber completely crashing.
Right.
Like 3 or 4 songs into the show.
Yeah.
So during Hungry Like the Wolf, we do these little step kicks on the ones, because it's like set to the sound. I'm lost in, I'm found. So we do a kick. Well, the stage was a little slick. Whatever the stuff is that they put on stages, like even like performing arts, whatever. That wood that's like super slick and like has no grip to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that stuff's called. Somebody's going to yell at me or send us an annoyed email. And we're
an informative email.
Yes. And so it was slippery. And so she went to do that kick, and by golly, she ate it.
Oof.
I missed the whole thing because, again, while we're doing this, we're looking in specific ways and we're doing these different moves. So I didn't notice until I turned around and I was like, what's she doing down there?
It's like fully on the ground right now.
Fully on the ground. Yeah. Helped her up, and, we made it. And I, during the little instrumental breakdown part, I was like, are you okay? And she's like, no. So during Satisfied, she actually excused herself to the medic and we actually have a video of it. Shout out to the girl who stayed for the show and then stayed till the show was over to airdrop me the video of Amber falling.
Wow.
That was phenomenal. When she fell, she kind of landed on her hand, to kind of break her fall. It looked like it could have been a lot worse. But her hand was all bruised, like specifically like the meat of her thumb.
Yeah.
On this side. So they wrapped it up. We ended up going to urgent care the next day. It's not broken, just, bruised and sprained or whatever. She did not miss a beat. Like every single person that saw it or was like working the show was like, I thought it was a part of the shtick. And if you see the video from where this girl was in the audience, it looked like Amber it's called a death drop. It's very big and like in drag, where like you basically just like fall backwards in this like,
right.
Person our age doing that would most certainly turn to dust.
It's named appropriately.
Yes. But that's what it looked like. And it probably felt that way.
Sure.
For her.
Yeah.
But if you want to join the Patreon, you can see my wife eat it on the Patreon Slack, because I did share it. Because it is a very resounding example of what poise and showmanship, showpersonship looks like, because it she didn't miss a beat. She landed on the ground and immediately went right back into doing the bit. So it was, I was inspired. Okay, that's it. I'm done with my show recap. Now, what do you got going on?
Well, this next week, Sunday, I fly to a work conference. My day gig has a conference I go to twice a year. And there are a few of us who play in bands at it. And a couple of times we put it together to play. And we're doing that again this time. So it's the first time, frankly, it's my first band gig in over a year. And we've got a whole set list together and who's doing what. And my bassist has just been a real nuisance about all the details. He's really getting us organized. And I think it's partially because I started Give Me One Reason in F instead of F sharp last time. And he wants to make sure that nobody does anything like that to him ever again. So we're just really rigorous about the set list and the key it's in and all of that. And so I might just do it again just to piss him off. We'll see. But it's great because, we're renting the whole backline. That is the thing. That's a thing. Renting guitars, amps, cables, mics, drum kit, PA, the whole thing is rented. And I'm actually going to bring my Headrush Flex Prime, tiny little, 3-button version of the Headrush. So I've been experimenting with the setups in that. I've never gigged it before, so this will be the first time for that. And it's exciting. My band members have been poking me about when are we going to get going again? And the starting from zero friction has been really strong for me. Really hard to imagine getting going again. And maybe this will be the thing that lights the fire under me. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it going both ways.
Yeah. Yes.
You're like, oh wait, this is exactly why I've done this my entire life. Or it's like, oh, maybe I don't miss this as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, and maybe I'm only ever going to do it when I'm renting a backline and I have some gig that pays for that. Because showing up with my own stuff and setting it all up and spending 2 hours doing that, I don't know. I'm not pulled to that right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the thing that is probably the biggest news as far as pop culture goes right now, which is Coachella.
Music news. Yes.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. The Ventera line from Fender dropped today, probably the worst kept secret in the guitar industry, as well as the new Prophecy line of Epiphones, which is another line that I saw at NAMM. Really cool silhouettes, cool finishes, cool features. So if you're in the market for a Gibson-shaped guitar, you should check out the Ultra Series. They're over on Sweetwater. You know what? I'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Very cool. But yeah, Coachella has just kind of taken over my social media feed. And in prepping for this episode, I did a lot of research. The first thing that I came to realize is just the sheer scale of that festival. Because what I was trying to do is when I'm going into something, I want to ask, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, is like, who played covers at Coachella this year? And they're like, well, nobody did. And I was like, that's not true. So I ended up I literally went through setlist.fm, which is, you can go and see what a touring band is doing.
Yeah.
I looked up every single performance on every single stage for this past weekend, and it was a lot. And I did find a bunch of covers. What I did kind of come away with is that some of the stuff is just not as interesting as it would seem. And even though it's technically in our wheelhouse, it's not compelling, because even through all of the hundreds of bands that played Coachella this first weekend, I feel like I'm only hearing about 3 of them. And
yes,
it's 3 pretty distinct artists doing 3 very distinct things during their sets. And I feel like there's takeaways for each of them. And I just thought it'd be a fun conversation to have.
Sure.
So, which one should we get into? The 3 that I want to talk about are Sabrina Carpenter, Teddy Swims, and Justin Bieber.
Go in that order.
Okay. Which one did I say first?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay. So, Sabrina Carpenter's headlining set. Let's get into it. It was phenomenal. Yeah. It was like a big, huge-ass production with interludes and cameos and costume changes and set pieces and just
guest stars.
Yes. Susan Sarandon was there. Will Ferrell was there. Just literally, they created an entire bit as an excuse to bring Will Ferrell out. Like, the stage broke. And so he comes out and he's like, running his mouth as like a very annoyed stagehand. I mean, nailed it. I've met people like that.
Yeah.
It was just front to back a phenomenal performance. It was musically incredible. It was funny. It was compelling. It had all of these layers to it, and it was dynamic and just super fun to watch. And it's just like, wow, it's entertainment in a way that I feel like is kind of, I don't want to say like passe or like old fashioned. I don't know how else to like describe it.
There's something about like the high production sort of effort. I know that through the lens of my own 12-year-old, Taylor Swift has sort of fallen out of being the person we all love about that. Mm-hmm. But she does kind of embody that high effort show.
Yeah.
And this was definitely that.
The other thing that really struck me is how much fun it looks like she's having.
Yeah.
I mean, I granted she's an actress and I understand that. I don't know if I could, well, I know I couldn't fake it. Mm-hmm. Like she was genuinely like in her element, enjoying the moment. Like, again, it was compelling to watch. It was just like watching her have fun doing this completely over the top, amazing performance was just like, it was great. I'm not her target demo, but like, I'm a fan. I think she's phenomenal. I haven't, it was really cool. Shifting gears, let's get into Teddy Swims.
Yeah. So, adjacent, similar in some ways.
I feel like I probably saw more clips of his set on socials than anybody else's, and with good reason. And I think of all of the ones that we're talking about, his is probably the set that we could glean the most from.
Yeah.
Because ostensibly Teddy Swims is a new artist. He has a single album out. He doesn't have a huge back catalog to work from. Ergo, he was playing, a middle of the day set, could have been imminently forgettable. And, we wouldn't be talking about it like the 40 other bands that played on that stage that we're not mentioning.
Totally.
But he's a guy that understands what benefit you can get from having these unique moments, these viral things happen, because that's how he got his start as far as like getting traction in the music business, was doing covers on YouTube. And so he used that idea of using other artists' music to bring people in to his advantage. And so he brought out multiple people to do cameos during his set.
Yep.
And it wasn't like three of the same artists. I don't think they could have been more different. So if you didn't catch it, he did a duet with Joe Jonas. He did a Jonas Brothers song, When You Look Me in the Eyes, unironically, one of my favorite songs. He did 1,000 Miles with Vanessa Carlton. Mm-hmm. And then he did Jump with David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could get more viral than those three moments.
It was designed for the sharing economy. It was designed for social virality. No question about it.
But thinking about that as far as the currency that our culture prioritizes, a young artist with a very small catalog was able to draw more attention than artists that were making, probably 10x what he was paid.
Yes.
And, have much longer rap sheets as far as, how long they've been in the business.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing testament to knowing how to make these kinds of things happen.
I'd say he understood the mission better than any other artist we've talked about at that show.
Completely agree. On top of and again, we always have to put this in. The talent and ability has nothing to do with any of these conversations. It's literally it's everything else that you have to worry about it. as far as like being a gigging musician and all that. So it's just a matter of being smart and knowing how to pull people in. And like Teddy Swims is maybe 30. Like he's not old. However, his set was the most millennial coded performance I can think of. Like he was going for us hard. I am not in Sabrina Carpenter's target demo. No. I am apparently 100% in Teddy Swims' demo. So I thought it was great. I may have teared up watching that Joe Jonas thing. And listen, everybody gives the Jonas Brothers a bad rap. Joe Jonas can sing his ass off. If you don't think that's true, go watch the clip of him singing that song. The mic was on. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
So shout out to Teddy Swims and his amazing band. They were cool to hang out with, and at the after party that we did that one time. And I
did love that his whole set was to a live band.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. His band is like, they're legit, and they're a part of the deal. Like I don't think I have seen him do performances without them unless there was like nobody else on stage. Like he almost always goes out with his group. So good for him for being a good band leader.
Very cool.
Okay, we're going to talk about Justin Bieber's set.
Here we go.
And
it's been divisive.
Divisive, I believe, is the word I would use. Yes. So if you haven't caught it, I'm not sure how you couldn't have. Justin Bieber was a headliner, I think, on Saturday night, and his performance was very different than stuff that we've seen from him previously.
Yeah.
If you have followed his career at all, at the height of his power, I guess, he was doing the full pop star.
It was
situation.
Dancers and backup dancers and backup to the backup dancers. It was a whole thing.
Choreographies and costume changes. It was very, I mean, I wouldn't say it was like Sabrina Carpenter, because hers like a very different
whole
beast.
other level.
But lots of intention, effort put into the way that it looked. And Justin's performance this year was very sparse, I think would be a way that you could describe it.
Yeah, I mean, for most of the show, it was him on stage alone. Most of it, he was just kind of sitting there and singing along with tracks. And there was video being projected of him up on video displays that looked good, but it was a real stripped down kind of performance compared to what you might have been expecting.
Right. And the thing that everybody is talking about is that for a portion of the performance, he literally opened up YouTube and sang along with
Put it up on
a screen.
Put it up on a screen, right? And it was like his laptop was open and we were looking at over his shoulder at what he was doing on it.
Yeah, and there was so people were basically, he let people make requests for what he did for that portion of the show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that was what he did, that was the entire performance. In reality, it was maybe a third of the thing. It was just kind of like, if we're talking about the way that we talk about shows, it was kind of like the down moment for for that part.
Yep.
And the general impression that everybody thinks is that Justin Bieber walked out on with a laptop to Coachella, sang along did karaoke to his own YouTube videos, and got paid $10 million. And that's not exactly how it went.
Yeah.
So there were portions of the show that were bigger, and he brought out, some of the other artists that he's collaborated with.
Band. He had some band with him for a while.
There was a live band component. The ambiance stuff was really neat. Yeah. And a lot of it, he was, when we're talking about him kind of like being on stage by himself, whatever, there was a camera that was kind of following him, whatever, and he was very locked into this camera. So if you watch the performance, he's literally singing to you for large chunks of it. And for everybody who has something negative to say about it, anybody who was a fan of his was absolutely just blown away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then also the song selection was driven by, in that middle piece, ostensibly input from the internet, but also the fact that he had just sold his catalog.
Yeah.
And so it was sort of a statement about who he was going to be as an artist moving forward. And it was quiet. In a way, it was really quiet and intimate and new for who he is as an artist.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
I think that word, I think intimate, is what he was trying to convey.
Yeah, listen, a lot of the show, he was sitting on stage, sitting in a hoodie with a hood up over his head, and behind him there was projection of a camera right up on him.
Yep.
So the stage presence was really small, but the projection, what we're seeing on the screens, was tight up on him and on his face and on his body and like the feeling of being with him. It was very intimate. It was very intimate.
It shows a couple of things to me. One, it was very pointed at diehards.
Yeah.
His ride or die fans who remember this kid talking to them through their laptop or through their phone.
And the deep tracks that he chose.
Yep. Going back there. I mean, I've seen every armchair psychologist, music business guru has thrown their 2 cents in about it. You know, it was a way for him to reclaim that time in his life, or it's a way for him to externally process the stuff that he was put through while we all watched as things went south for him. And
valid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, every piece of that has some sense of truth to it. But I think the overall impression that I got was, this is a guy who's taking charge of what his future looks like.
Yeah.
And showing people that this is what it looks like when I'm calling the shots, and resetting expectations for, his output moving forward, I think.
Yeah. 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 And it's not the model of great big high effort show.
Mm-hmm. And there's been a lot of talk of entitlement, that like, oh, of course he would be able to get away with this.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair. Nobody else, it's hard to think of another artist who could. We were talking about this before we hit go on this on this episode. Like, imagine 20 years ago if Michael Jackson had done that show.
Yeah.
He could have, but he wouldn't have, because he was all about the high production, high effort.
Right.
This is a statement that very few artists are going to make. And I kind of love that he did it.
You got to admit that, like, the last 2 big performances he's done, the Grammys and Coachella, people have not been able to shut up about him.
Right. Yeah.
So whether you love it or hate it, you're talking about it. And so ultimately that's what he's after.
Yep.
I think it's cool to think that, like, you'd have the confidence to go out on stage and just, like, this is it.
Do that.
Yeah.
Sit down in your hoodie. Sing
like, take your time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. It's really something. So
yeah,
we're always trying to figure out where live music is going. And I feel like Coachella gives me the impression of a couple of things. One, that live music is always going to be a thing that we as a society are going to need. So it's never going to go away. It might evolve. It might change. What people are used to is going to be different.
It has, right? I mean, like, it used to be a grunge headline sort of anti-festival, and now it's the quasi, big commercial. So
yeah, it's what every cool indie thing does.
Right. Yeah. No, it's turned commercial in a
South
very
by
drastic
Southwest
way.
times a billion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Man, I've seen some really brain dead takes on it also. I felt we won't wade into those, but people just like, I have to get my album. I got to say something about this. But I felt like what we got into is relevant to what we do as performers. So,
yeah.
And listen, there was a like a side quest to this episode that, like, we're just going to have to push till next week. But if you want to know how far in the weeds you can send Claude to program your lights, stick around for next week.
Yes, we'll deal with that next week.
Because literally, that story got started about 3 hours ago and is in progress. So this will give us time
that
to...
and Black Flag covering Louie Louie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just stay tuned, folks.
There you go.
Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Couldn't do without you. We hit 8,000 subs this week on YouTube. By the way, hey. Anyway, bury the lead there. Appreciate everybody's support. If you'd like to support the show, you could do a number of things. I'll go ahead and call it for this week, though. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
You have been listening to the Cover Band Confidential podcast for the week of April 17th, 2026.